Now I think things might be working. Alright, sorry guys. I believe we are up and running. Live. We have audio even, video, all the things.
All the things?
Yeah, turn Instagram back on. Everything exploded.
Spoiling it.
Okay. Yep, ready to go.
All right. Sorry for the delay, everybody. We had some technical difficulties, but I think we're up and running now.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the 034 Motorsport live chat, Zero BS. Ask Us Anything hour. Episode
265.
265. We're here to answer all your questions about all things 034, anything automotive, anything else you'd like to ask us about. We're always happy to chime in. We take a no BS approach to responding, and we prioritize accuracy and truthfulness in our responses. So if you ask us an update question and we may deprioritize that, our goal here is to respond to topical questions that we can give an answer to. Things like, when's this going to be done, or when are you going to be doing this? We don't always have answers, so we will put those towards the end. If we have time to get to those, we'll try. We probably won't. Please don't be offended. It's not like we don't know who you are. I don't even know who's asking these questions. Everything is just based and judged on the question. And if it's an update question that we don't have a straight answer for, then we will skip that, most likely. And I'm Javad Shodzi, and this is Nate Stewart.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right, let's jump in. We got a bunch of questions, thanks to the delay. It's another week, another spark plug question.
Hey.
What spark plugs do you guys recommend for a Stage 1.2 B9 SQ5? Is one stage colder a good idea? Well, we do, I believe we list spark plug information on the tuning pages. But for Stage 1, 2 type tunes, we just recommend stock plugs.
Yep, stock is fine. You can run a range colder. It's certainly not going to hurt anything, and it's generally a good idea. It's going to depend on how you're using it. If it's just going to be like a cruise around town light load most of the time situation with just a couple pulls here and there, I would say stick with the stock temp range. If you're going to be on track where you're getting a lot of heat to the cylinders and on the plugs, then yeah, not a bad idea to go a little cooler.
Yeah, we do have the brisk plugs, which are a good
Yep.
option for anyone wanting to go cooler. It's the new brisk plug that we developed with Brisk. It's an iridium plug, and great results with that plug.
Yep.
Available on our website. B9.5 S4, is it bad for the engine or transmission to do free rev when rolling by putting the car in neutral while rolling to get some burbles while rolling?
I mean, you can burble without putting it in neutral.
Yeah, but no, it's not,
you can see
it's
like
not bad
the
for
sounds.
anything.
Just some little blips. It's fine.
I mean, even hard blips aren't really bad.
No, I'm saying like it's not going to be like
Yeah.
you're not doing it for like an hour sustained or
Yeah.
anything. Like it's just going to be some revving here and there.
Yeah.
It'll deal with it. There is like the don't get your car towed in neutral stuff. That is bad for transmissions over extended periods. But that's also with the
Right.
engine typically not running because then fluid pumps and whatnot are not turning. So that might be where some of that stems from.
It seems like it would be bad. Revving an engine feels kind of harsh and violent to do, but there's no load on the engine. The rev limiter is going to stop the engine from spinning too fast. So it's really not hard on it.
It's the least stressed you can increase the revs on a motor.
Yeah, you can rev up engines a lot. Gotta be careful. Like if you're sitting still and you're doing a lot of revving, there's not a lot of airflow. So if you're generating a lot of heat, then at some point that heat can be problematic. But it's a pretty extreme situation.
Yeah, if you ever see like the Cars and Coffee or cruise videos where there's like Lamborghinis catching on fire from parking lot revving action,
and they're usually doing like launch control.
Yeah, they're just sitting on.
There's a lot of timing retard and a lot like flames coming out the exhaust. So things back there get hot, but the engine doesn't care.
Yeah.
When's the next sale for tunes? We do probably have a sale coming up soon. If you follow our sales schedule every year, you'll know that we have Winterfest coming soon. on February 7th. February 7th is Winterfest, so we usually have a sale around then, so stay tuned. How do you feel about big wangs on street cars or any other race mod on a street car? Wait, what's a big wang?
A big wang. Get a big wang in the back.
Oh, a wing?
There you go.
Oh. Well, there's very few times you could use a wing or much aero on the street.
What car did you just buy?
Well, I have a GT3, but that's not a
big
street
wang.
car. It's got a big wang.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean it's a street legal car, but I did like the aero on track. That was nice.
Yeah.
But you know, if the wing or aero modifications actually produce downforce or improve the car's handling and performance and grip, then I would be for it. Unfortunately, too many times you just see people like sticking something on the car with no thought or engineering or design, and I think that's more questionable. Granted, if it achieves the look you're going for, then that's up to you and you did it. But I know, yeah, the GT3s.
there's a number out there that are factory supplied.
But in general, like, let's say I wanted to build a really nice B9 RS5 or S4, a big wing would not be part of the build. Not for
For
the
a street
streets,
car,
not
right.
for the street. If I was gonna time attack it or like do some kind of competitive driving, then I'd definitely consider doing a wing and some other aero to help give it more downforce.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as saying like any other race mod, you'd be really limited if you didn't do any race mods on a supposed street car. I mean, we're talking like brakes, tunes, intercoolers. All of those are race mods in that they'll help the whole situation work better under higher performance situations. So. No, we're obviously all for that stuff. Anything that can make the car, cool better, brake faster, better acceleration, better handling, all for it. So the wings, I mean, if that's what you want, like Jawad said, absolutely. If it serves a purpose, does what you need. If you're looking to get like an optimized street car that's going to get good gas mileage, big wings are not generally your friend there. So it's all up to you what you want to build.
Yeah, and like Nate said, we sell kind of two product lines. We sell kind of like street performance stuff, and then more like track motorsport stuff. And you can run either on the street. It's up to you. There's trade-offs, advantages, disadvantages, benefits, issues that are caused in either direction. But usually, the more race car you get, you're sacrificing comfort. And in some cases, reliability, but not always. Like our motorsport endlings are going to wear out faster than our Dynamic Plus endlings, just because they're stiffer and not designed to hold up to wear as much, but they give better performance in the short term. So there's always trade-offs. Good morning, 034 team. Happy New Year. What is the best way to stay notified about the 2023 plus year SQ5 platform TCU unlock? Definitely follow our social media, like Instagram. And then you can also email contact@034motorsport.com to be added to our newsletter. But that would be big news.
Yeah, that we'll be shouting that from the rooftops.
Yeah, that would be like... emailing the U.S. government and being like, how do I find out about it, whether we invade Greenland or not? You're going to probably hear about that. It's a big deal. And same thing with unlocking the TCU. So that would definitely get pushed out on our social media.
And that's probably where you hear about Greenland as well.
Yeah. Instagram. Just curious what happened to your Stage 2 billet valve cover breather assembly for the 2.0 TEA AAA.3. It is no longer on the website. Mine's still on back order. Shoot an email to customer service, contact@034motorsport.com. There was some design concerns with that product, but customer service should have reached out to you by now. Is any amount of tiny metal particles in the oil filter housing normal from what you've seen? Car runs fine, B9A4, 107,000 miles. Yeah, I mean, it depends what you're seeing, how big they are, what those particles are made out of.
Yep.
You know, the bigger they are, the worse. Very tiny, fine metal. Like, if you stick a magnet in your oil and it just comes out as like a paste, it's pretty normal. But there shouldn't be a lot.
No, you can there's companies like Blackstone Labs where you can take an oil sample, especially if hopefully you saved some of this oil.
Well, it sounds like there's more where that came from.
Right, and send it off to them. They can do an analysis on them, on the oil, and tell you what they think.
Yeah.
Because they'll actually do, like Javad said, an actual detailed elemental analysis of what the materials in that oil are and tell you where they think it's coming from.
Yeah, Nate's suggestion is the right one. Just send Blackstone a sample of your oil. They'll be able to tell you all kinds of stuff if there's fuel in it, coolants.
Keep in mind it generally always sounds scary because there's always stuff in your oil you don't expect, but it's they're pretty good about giving recommendations and thoughts.
It's like reading WebMD if you have a headache. You know, like you could have pancreatic cancer, probably don't, but it's one of the options they have to list, so that you will get a lot of that kind of stuff. Thank you, Kenji, for awesome customer service and getting me the correct parts sorted out. Great to hear. Kenji's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a get-it-done kind of guy. Once the U.S. owns Greenland, will you open an office there?
Jesus.
That's tempting. I'm not sure what the car culture is like there, but we still don't have an office in New Jersey, so I don't know. Greenland would be the next option.
I don't know.
But,
I hear you can land boats there, so
yeah.
we'll see.
Thoughts on your high-pressure fuel pump for my EA113 exploding?
Exploding high-pressure fuel pumps. I don't know what
I've never heard
thoughts
of
I have about that. That pump is that particular pump. That's the early 2-liter Mark 5 era. It has been out for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen them explode. I have seen the cam followers explode in that they wear through, and you get all kinds of nasty side effects from that. So that's a thing, but the pump itself, no, that should be rock solid.
Yeah, definitely reach out to our customer service if there's anything.
If you have exploding pumps, we always want to hear about it.
Yeah. Can I keep auto upshift when in manual mode on a stage 2 B9 SQ5?
Yep, that's absolutely the normal. We by request can do the no auto upshifts, we have the no auto upshifts files available, but by default it's going to upshift normally like it would stock at the predetermined shift point as you get to red line.
Yeah. How often should the S34 intake be cleaned and how? Well, definitely with our cleaning kit, which we sell on our website, and that includes the materials you need to clean and refresh the filter, as well as the instructions. I think we would say like every 30,000 miles, maybe every like 2 or 3 oil changes. But it really depends on where you're driving. If you live down a dirt road, or like you live in a city that has a lot of haboobs, you're definitely going to want to clean that more often than if you live in a nice clean
non-dusty
concrete jungle type environment. So yeah, it depends. I think for the average person, maybe like once a year. Something. Certainly if you see like a lot of debris and leaves and sticks and
if it's a forest caked around your
acorns, lodged in the pleats of your filter, then it's definitely time to get in there and do something. Can you discuss if single exhaust feature on startup can be disabled by your tunes, specifically for the B9?
The single S4 exhaust. I'm assuming that's the flaps.
Yeah.
The flap behavior on startup. It can be. It is not now. I'm trying to think. I believe you can just put it in dynamic during startup, and it'll kick your flaps open.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I'll have to confirm that if it does it during catalyst.
So like one flap is closed, one flap is open.
No, it's normal. Like they'll shut the flaps and you just get the single tube out the exhaust pipes. I presume that's what they're talking about.
I never heard it referred to as single exhaust. My B8.5 SQ5 is experiencing a bit of tramlining at 60 plus miles per hour. My upper and lower control arms appear to be cracking. Would replacing them with the 0 through 4 density arms help solve the tramlining, or is it tires? Well, tramlining is one thing. Cracked bushings in your control arms is another. Those are going to cause, depends on how bad the cracks are. But usually the cracks start kind of small, and then eventually they get so big that the bushing fails, where the center sleeve just rips out from the bushing itself. But tramlining could be caused by a number of things. It could be caused by if you have like looseness in your suspension, like in the control arm area, the tires may not be tracking. They may not hold the alignment. Could be your alignment. Could be, I don't know what kind of wheels and tires you have on the car. But you definitely want to fix the control arm issue regardless. And I don't know, for tramlining I would say alignment. Check your alignment.
Alignment and tires. Tires, if you've got some really wide tires on there, or you've got just honestly the road you're driving on, if it's like your commute has a really crowned or
the road
oddly worn road surface, then you'll get a lot of tramlining regardless of what you do, because your car's literally trying to fall into the valleys and follow that road.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's tramlining from the car, and then there's tramlining from the road, and you're not going to fix the road tramlining with the car.
Like if the road is worn in some way where your car happens to ride like kind of in between or on the edges of the depressions, then it'll get all squirrely feeling.
Yeah, and just to explain that, your tire is when your tire hits a crown, it's always going to want to go up it. So I don't know if you know about like there's actually pulleys, belts, or like bandsaws, for example. The only thing that holds a bandsaw blade on the roller is a crown surface. And so as the blade rides on the two big pulleys, both pulleys are crowned, so they're shaped like this. And so as the blade interacts with that crown, as it rides up the crown, it gets tighter. So it always tends to go tighter, not looser. And so the same thing happens with your tire. So check the roads. If they're not nice and flat, if like semis drive on them and there's two grooves, and that's not tramlining, that's just riding up.
It is tramlining, but it's effective. It's just like undulations in the terrain you're driving over.
Fundamentally, your tires are just riding up these. So if you can kind of get both tires on the top and you can stay there, then you're not going to tramline. But if you keep going up and down, it's going to pull the steering wheel as the tires interact with that crown.
But if it's doing it everywhere, like flat surfaces or just kind of has a mind of its own, then I would certainly look at control arms that are giving you variable alignment could be certainly causing that.
Yeah, I mean, I have 315s on my SQ7 or the Q7, and I don't feel like a tram line, so you can't really get much wider than that. So just make sure everything's in good repair. Your control arms are, I would replace your control arms. Definitely our density line option is a great one. And then make sure you have a factory alignment spec, especially with your toe. And then, the rest is just the road and stuff like that. I want both your honest opinions on burble tunes. Would either of you personally run them or like them?
I have to run them because generally it's a lot of testing and a large amount of our customer feedback and requests and tailoring of things is revolves around that sphere. So yes, I was burbling and rolling anti-lagging my way into work this morning.
But that's not the question.
Would I like them? They have their place, but no, I'm not sitting there farting the thing all the way down the road.
Mm-hmm. I think it depends. I definitely wouldn't want it all the time. There are times when I'm driving one of our cars that has it, and it's fun to turn it on and off depending on what you're doing and where you're at. like my GT3 currently does not have it, and I would like an option to have it.
Oh, we can do that. That's
You
really
know,
it doesn't at all, even in any of the
I
modes.
don't think it does. No, not in sport mode and.
This thing's usually pretty snarly on downshifts. So that's interesting.
No, it's interesting because I've heard GT3 RSs with violent.
Yeah, well, that's I was surprised. I'm
gunshots and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
don't know if you need to go that far, but
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is like the level of burbles. Like, are we talking like BMW shotgun shot
Yeah.
like, or just a nice little like overrun like rumble that you
I
get
think-
from like olden days of cars, which is kind of where this came from.
An overrun, reminiscent of like a carbureted, race car, something like that. But yeah, no, it depends. It's just like anything else. I like bikes, but I don't like the 14-year-olds doing wheelies down the streets into traffic. Almost killing me on my bike.
Right.
So yeah, it's just you can misuse anything, but the burbles definitely have their place. Do no burbles give me better miles per gallon?
Yes, technically.
Theoretically,
yes. It is a very minuscule amount of, fuel. It's essentially it's less than an engine idling, essentially. In overrun, because it's still like a Lambda 1 target. It's very, very minimal load. So yeah, no, it does use fuel to do it, obviously. So in theory, yes, your mileage will take a hit, especially if you're one of the burblers that likes to just like keep tapping the gas and burbling for days.
It's negligible.
Yeah.
But theoretically, yes, it does use more fuel. But you'll be hard pressed to actually feel it in your pocketbook. After all your vids on rear sway bars and paired, can yaw happen when braking with rear bar? I'm not sure exactly what these words mean.
Can yaw happen when braking with a rear bar? That's usually an alignment situation with a rear toe, and depending on how far the car's lowered and whatnot. Yaw from a rear bar? No, I wouldn't see that inducing yaw under braking.
No, the sway bar doesn't change the alignment.
Yeah.
Certainly.
What you'd be looking at would be if you've got a again,
Are
I don't
we
know.
talking about the car like yawing, stepping out?
Right. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So we talked about this last week, I believe. But if when you put a bigger sway bar on and you go into a corner and you brake into the corner while you start turning, the back end will come out. It's called trail braking, and so you can brake until the car gets to the point you want, and then you can let go and then start applying throttle to kind of hold or control that attitude, or as you call it, yaw through the corner. A stiffer rear sway bar, generally speaking, will increase that effect or dynamic by shifting more or keeping more of the weight to the rear of the car. So there'll be more momentum or inertia in the back of the car than the front, and so the back will come around. The amount of weight transfer to the front will be less. So hopefully that answers your question. And check out our live from last week.
Yep.
I went into that quite a bit.
Yep. It's usually alignment related.
Yeah. Well, there's the alignment part of it, but there's also the sway bar part of it.
Yep.
With the same alignment, stiffer rear bar will increase that effect.
Yep. If you have a corner inlet force.
Yeah. If you're trail braking or trailing throttle.
Yep.
Also. Hey guys, 2022 S3 Stage 1034 with Stage 2 TCU. Started to have clutch slip after running for 10,000 miles in 1 year. Now I am out of the cost of software and trade-in. How do you handle situation?
I have no idea what.
They have a manual.
Software. No. It says Stage 2 TCU, so no, they have a DSG. We have not seen, obviously, that. We test the bejesus out of those, especially on a stage 1. So, yeah, there's nothing.
This is a DSG car with clutch slip?
That's what he's saying, yeah.
Yeah, we don't really see that. I'm
There,
not sure.
I mean, there are outliers in the world that'll just have slip. I don't know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's let. I'm being told this isn't tuning support, so we need more information. So please continue to work with tuning support. We will get. We'll do our best to help figure it out, but our TCU tune does not cause clutch slip in DSGs.
Yep.
All right, so it says I'm going to Sonoma in March. I currently have your sway bars, end links, downpipe intake, and stage 2 ECU TCU, 034 wheels, and good Conti 200 treadwear tires. What other things should I consider for a C7 A6 3.0 T? Well, you've got a very potent car there.
Yeah, I would strongly suggest intercooler upgrades.
Yeah, if you
you
haven't
really
done
need to
that.
keep the intake temps in check as much as possible. And then brakes. You're gonna want to make sure you've got track oriented pads
Yeah.
and fluid in there at minimum.
Definitely agree with Nate. And track pads, something that's not a street pad. That's designed for the heat.
Yep.
And then also try to put in a really good brake fluid. What are we running these days?
SRF.
Yeah, Castrol SRF. If you can do a brake flush with that, so that has a really high boiling temp. Depends how hard you're going to push it. If you're a beginner and it's your first time on track, the cooling side of things won't be as much of a factor. You're just not going to be going fast enough.
Yep.
The faster you are on track, the more difficult and challenging it gets to keep the car cool with the increased loads. I have a wastegate issue. Should I replace the turbo or fix the wastegate when I want to go stage 1 or 2? Is this on a stock turbo? I don't know
Yeah.
what turbo
What
it
application are we talking here?
is. Yeah.
That's gonna be very dependent on the application. We don't have that in our list here or in our questions here. So
Yeah, but
we can't
generally
really consider that.
speaking, if the wastegate is bad or has an issue and it's replaceable, then obviously just do that. There are some turbos where the wastegate's part of the turbo and there's no spare parts for that.
Without knowing what the issue is, like if it's a actuator issue, if it's the flapper inside the turbo itself that's failed somehow, we can't answer without more info on that one.
Someone's asking about 8V.5 RS3 Stage 1, what the power is. It should be listed on our website under the product page,
Yep.
but we have it listed here. So Stage 191 is rated at 445 horsepower and 427 torque on 91. Stage 193 is about 20 horsepower and torque over 91. And Stage 1 E85 is 552 horsepower and 477 torque. So the E85 tune is very powerful and potent.
It's such a good spot for those cars.
Yeah. It's really hard to beat the Daza with Stage 1 E85. That's pretty much, in my opinion, it's about as good as the car gets. You can do big turbo kits and full frame stuff, and yes, the car is faster, but it's just laggier. It loses that sharpness and that responsiveness.
Yeah.
Certainly for like driving,
Yeah, for daily
the stock
duties
turbo is really well sized on those. That's why we really haven't gone past the stock turbo on those cars. They're so fast, they're so fun, so responsive.
Yeah, and you quickly get into like needing built parts after that too.
Yeah. Are you guys happy? Ooh,
Oh, hey, getting
very,
some
very
deep here.
question. What do you think, Nate?
Am I happy? Dude, I'm like working a dream job here for the last 20 some years where I get to show up and kind of explore new avenues, learn every day. Yeah, I mean it's what I crave. It's what I in my spare time I'm basically doing all the same things. So yes, it's living what I want to be doing a day in and day out. And yeah, it's been an amazing ride both here and obviously I've got a family that has thrived because of it as well. So yep, I'm in a good place.
It's great to hear. Yeah, I'm happy just because it's important for me to live and create a life that makes me happy. I would never settle for a life that I didn't want to live, which is why I wanted to work in the Audi aftermarket tuning industry, and there wasn't any jobs in it, so I just built a company and pretty much helped start the whole industry.
Yep.
To do what I love. Now I get to do that with people that I love and people that I love working with, and I like working here because I wouldn't work somewhere that I didn't like. So when people come into the company that make the company a place that I don't want to work at, then we remove those people and get new, better people, so that we can all be happy. So, happiness is, or contentment is really important, and it's not easy to, insist on living that way. I think a lot of people, most people, probably 99% of people, are kind of stuck in the life that they were given, and they don't have the ability, they don't have the drive, they don't have the courage, to push for a life they want.
There's a lot of risk sometimes,
and it's very
finding,
risky.
Finding what makes you happy. Before this, I could have coasted for all eternity. I had a super easy job, you could say. It was a pharmaceutical, technical, systems job. But at that point, I had kind of fixed everything that was broken before I got there, and it was a very cushy, just ride it out job where I could have been there and till the end of time, and just made that my life. But it was no challenge left in it to me. There was nothing, I was gaining from it anymore. So yeah, I took a huge risk.
But you literally quit that job.
Quit the job, moved all the way across the country. I lived in Maine at the time.
You rented a truck.
Yeah. For a shop with 3 other people working in it at the time.
And I didn't even know how much you didn't even know how much you were going to get paid.
No, I was just like, we'll make this work.
And I think it was actually $200 a week.
It was slim pickings for a while. Lived in friends of friends garages kind of thing. And yeah, just kind of bootstrapped it, if you want to use the modern terminology from there. And
you took a huge risk.
But it's still, I could see there was literally any avenue I wanted to point the creative effort had room to do it in. So I've been really fortunate here where I've pointed my creativity at almost every department, and then it's kind of grown, and then it gets handed off, and
you've done amazing.
Move on to the next thing.
You've done some of the most incredible work in this industy.
I've been super lucky to have that as an opportunity, but it was risky. It could have gone completely the other way, and you get to the point where a couple more weeks of hard times, and we would have been done for, and it happened to work out and get us off the ground. And
So the message is, happiness is not easy, and it's earned. You really have to go out and find happiness. And then the other thing about happiness is it's not a place you arrive at. You don't work really hard to get happy, and then you're in the happy zone for the rest of your. Every morning you wake up, you have to cultivate happiness. Every week, every month, every year, you have to try to be happy. And
I think
it also requires a lot of perspective.
Your personal definition of happiness is going to change a lot through life too, depending on family or just region, situations, jobs. It's going to move around, and you just got to keep chasing it.
So I wish for anyone watching that you can find the process in life that allows you to continually seek happiness.
Yep. It's a good thing to spend time on.
It is. Oh, another philosophical question. What do you guys do in your free time?
I think we just covered a lot of that. I do a lot of work adjacent things, and that just because what I do at work is very interesting to me, and what I do at home is similar in as far as building, tinkering, fixing, programming, designing.
Your little lab.
My little home lab of things, which is, I got a new lab I'm building right now, which is almost done. Just getting the paint on the walls now, so.
Nice. That'll be awesome.
Getting there. So yeah, lots of tinkering.
You've been doing a lot of work on your house.
Lots of housework lately.
Running plumbing and pipes.
Lots of trenching and digging and manual laboring and concrete mixing and pouring. And then I've got kids, so they're always running around. It's got, my little guys in basketball and soon to be baseball coming up, and daughter doing sports and dance and piano and all the other extracurriculars. So they keep us busy for sure.
Yeah, same. I've a lot of stuff going on with my kids. I spend a lot of time with my partner Tanza, traveling and doing fun things.
Yeah, you've been getting out and about a lot.
Yeah, I try to enjoy ourselves. I love speaker building. I love woodworking. I do a lot of bike riding and exercising to stay in shape. I've really learned to love cycling, especially road cycling, the last 5-6 years. And I do a lot of cooking. I have 8 kids in my house, so I cook big, healthy meals, tasty meals. I want to spoil them for life to eat good, delicious food. So, anyways, thanks for the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have 15 minutes. Love the great work, guys. Wondering if you can share a bit of what we can expect for the CREC platform this year and the challenges you're currently facing. Thank you for continuously pushing the platform. You want to give a quick update? I mean, we've done a lot the past year, and
so this year you'll see us flushing out the rest of the 2 Plus lineup with basically the E85, bringing E85 across the board to all the platforms. We've got some hardware requirements that had to come into play to make that work reliably. So that's coming. It's the design work is basically all done. It's all in testing right now. Software's been solid for a while. Challenges there, not many other than just time and prioritization and it's got to be technically we're in a really good place on that platform.
We've been needing to solve some problems.
There's been some hardware and fueling stuff. That's been the biggest barrier, you could say, right now. But it's those thankfully are a known problem you can fix. It's just X amount of time and hard parts at it will generally fix that kind of thing. So I don't usually see those as too big of a hurdle. It's just a matter of getting it made and into production. So it's just time. It turns into time.
Yeah. There's a question about the GT3. What happened to that?
Uh-oh.
I wanted to answer that.
Uh-oh. You were censored. You got black helicoptered.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. These are update questions. Do you guys sell O-ring replacement for the catch can hoses? We can sell you any subcomponent. Just send an email to techsupport@034motorsport.com, and our customer service department can sell subcomponents that aren't listed on our website. But it's a special process we have to use because we literally have 10,000 subcomponents. We couldn't list everything on the website. We could, but it would be a huge waste of time.
We're happy to help with it, whatever we can, though, to maintain the product.
Yeah. So I'm saying I switched to Jackal and now coming back to 034. Do I have to rebuy the 034 tune?
Only if you went through and got a full refund.
Yeah, if you canceled the order, but once you buy our tune, you always own it. It's always your tune.
Yeah.
Even if you switch to another tune, it's always there waiting for you.
So the tune is basically assigned to the VIN number of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So it will follow that vehicle through whatever ownership chain it's got. The calibration was purchased and installed and is now a part of that vehicle for all time, basically. So you can come on back over and flash it and log it and do all the things you want with it.
A friend with a 2024 RS6 just put IE sway bars and has a lot of clunky chatter. I've never had this issue with 034 sway bars on my Q7. What would cause that? It's very most likely to do with end links.
Yeah, that's usually.
And so either if it's factory end links, they're probably loose.
Yep.
If they're aftermarket, they could also be loose, or They could have slop in them. They could have sphericals that aren't tight. So it should be pretty obvious once you get under there. But I mean, on my Q7, I've had this issue crop up, and it was always like a loose nut on an end link.
Yep.
You know, and so that the tech just didn't torque it down right, properly. So that will happen. And then there's just a myriad of other like misinstallation issues, that hardware it's not tightened properly and things like that. But that chattery, it's, you know, as the suspension's moving, that impact in whatever's loose just is really loud.
Yeah, and it's like on sway bars in particular, it's like double whammy because you get one wheel moving up and down and different from the other wheel, and so every time each wheel moves independently of each other, you get this rattling. So they can get really obnoxious.
Purposefully bangs it around as hard as it can.
You gotta,
because it's resisting the movement.
You got like a hammer that's getting driven by both wheels independently, basically.
In competitive drag racing with a Pro Tree, lots of people use a transbrake to upshift on two-step and bump into the final beam. Could that be built into ZF8 software? It doesn't get up on two-step fast enough otherwise.
I mean, it's we have the launch control on the ZF is fully on the torque converter, so I'm not entirely sure what they're looking for.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Because when you launch, it's full load.
Yeah, it's all the load you can give it.
I mean, a transbrake just allows you to load up the engine.
It's the same thing you're doing that basically the launch control is doing already. So yeah, I'd like to know, I guess, what specifically you're looking for. But that last bump or lurch into the beam, I think, is more a side effect of how they're loading up the transmission, and not necessarily like a benefit of a staging strategy. It's to scoot into the beams. Yeah, no, that's just, you have to stage in the proper position. But if you turn on your trans brake and it lurches the car forward due to it, then yeah, you have to stage pre the last lights.
Yeah. I just bought your full suspension setup for the 8V RS3. Sway bars, ball joints, and control arms. Can't wait to put them on. Putting KWV3 coils on soon as well. Any recommendations? Oh, that's great to hear. You're going to love that. The car's going to handle great. Just getting those coilovers tuned and adjusted properly is going to be the key. And that's just going to take some time. I don't know if KW... I mean, I think they ship with a base setting. But when you make those changes, it's really important to keep track of like how many clicks you did on watts and what your impression is, so that you can kind of go back. But it's really easy to just start clicking things and then just get way out of whack. So maybe have a little notebook in the glove box and just document, log your changes so that you can go back if you need to.
Do it by data, not by vibe.
Yeah. Now that the feds are pulling the plug on California's CARB program by the EPA,
yeah, right.
Will that change any aspects of available products from 0 to 4? Okay, all right. There's like, this is not, I always have to say this is not politics. This is a technical thing. We work in this industry. We're subject to laws and regulations, especially by the EPA and California Air Resources Board. So there's like Twitter and Truth Social and shit you read online. There's even stuff the President of the United States says. And then there's like the actual laws. Okay. And so don't buy too much into all that bluster. There's a lot of bluster right now about a bunch of stuff. Apparently we're going to invade Greenland because Trump didn't get a Nobel Peace Prize, which is ironic, but like, who knows what's actually going to happen? There's just a lot of bluster out there. The reality is the EPA is still fully in force. California Air Resources Board is fully in force. The only official thing that I've seen is some of the rollback on EV mandates. Nothing else has changed. And so we just recently went to a seminar about 3 months ago where the EPA and CARB were there, and they reiterated that nothing's changing.
Yeah, and a lot of the the rhetoric or the talking points, you have to kind of read into the details. Almost, well, everything I've seen is where they're kind of fighting, pushing back against CARB is new vehicle manufacture and sale. It's nothing to do with previous vehicles. It's there. They had some truck considerations and some emissions requirement targets that CARB was trying to hit. Right. That the EPA said no, it's not worth it.
But so it's increasing. They're basically backing off from making the clean air standards even more strict.
Right.
But they're not loosening them or softening.
Nothing's
them
changed for any previous cases.
So the aftermarket is still subject to the Clean Air Act, and all those laws and regulations still apply. Trump hasn't ended that stuff. I think he benefits by making it sound like he is to his supporters.
It's political talking points essentially.
But the reality is nothing's changed. So it would be really stupid for us to think that it is. And we have to be very careful and vigilant to follow the EPA and CARB guidelines whenever possible.
Yeah, it is interesting too. Even that seminar we were in, talking to some of the people in the industry afterwards, they came out of that seminar with completely different opinions as to how things are going. So I think it's an interesting what set of things. It's that some people in the same industry in the same room can come away with two completely different takes on a topic.
I think the people who believe the things they hear feel like that they'll be supported in the event something happens, and that's not true. So no, I mean,
no, you still got
nothing changed. What I love to see the automotive aftermarket given some relief to emission. Absolutely,
a common sense,
a common sense approach.
Common sense approach that is fair and has a rational method of enforcement and expectations, because it's all over the place right now.
People driving, stage 2 high flow cat Audis and BMWs are not ruining the environment. Not any more than other people, and there's much worse offenders to clean air, like the agricultural industry.
The industrial stuff is
ranching, farming,
wild.
And commercial trucking, the ships, the shipping industry contributes substantially to smog and air pollution. Yep. So, it's like give people a break. We want to go a little faster. We want to run a bigger turbo. It's still running.
And again, that's the thing is it's doing it in a common sense and realistic manner, which is obviously very hard to do, I guess, in a legal framing. But many of these enthusiast vehicles are going to be the most maintained, the most meticulously cared for, the best running examples of what's on the road, by far usually, where you've got this, the other day I was behind a Prius of all things that was just belching blue smoke. The motor was trashed, and the dude's just 007 fog screening the entire freeway.
And he's probably smoking too.
But that's, right. So there's stuff like that where there's very obvious gross offenders that are within the current law.
He's breaking the law, obviously.
But it's
whether he'll get caught.
So just common sense around it would be great.
All right, I want to answer this one because I haven't talked about it. But someone asked, "How is the new GT3? Can you tell us more about it? Are you able to mod it yet?
Are you itching
to mod it yet?" So I decided recently to get some kind of Porsche, and I was looking at turbos, and I was kind of all over the place. But I ended up with a 991.2 GT3. Definitely a dream car. I've never owned a car like that. And I think for someone who professionally mods and tunes cars, it's really fun and interesting to kind of get the ultimate factory version of that, where Porsche has taken essentially a base 911 and given it the full handling treatment, but it's still a street car, barely. My desire was to, if I went the GT3 route, was to track it more and really get to experience and get to know the car on track. It's funny, the car does not need anything. It's literally hard to improve the handling and performance of that car. but there's, you get the car and there's like, well, I got the clear side markers because the yellow ones or whatever, and I still need to put those in. And I got another set of wheels so I can put track tires. We're gonna do some. We're gonna spin up a 034 product line with some curated products. For the GT3 991 specifically. I did just take it to the track. We had a track test day on Saturday.
Yep.
I've never driven a car like that on track. It doesn't push. There's zero pushing. It's surgically precise. It just, where you point the car, it goes. It can carry a lot of speed. It has a lot of power. I was hitting some really fast, like almost the fastest I've ever gone. As far as straight line speed on that track, I was hitting about 140 on the front straight, and that's about as fast as I've ever gone in any car, even turbo cars with hundreds more horsepower.
Yeah, your corner entry speeds.
Yeah, I was
getting up there,
coming onto the front straight at 95, which I've never done either. So it was really fun to drive. I have a lot to learn about the car. It's still on, street tires.
Yep.
But it was a blast, and I'll be honest. Like, after owning it for about a month, it's not a street car. It's not fun to drive on the street. It's loud. It's stiff. It has no flywheel in the PDK transmission, so it's just gear rattle, and it's like driving a race car. It has no sound deadening. So you're going down the freeway. I think it's probably like 90 plus dB. I mean, you could literally get hearing damage. I think for long drives you should wear hearing protection. But that motor is amazing. When it revs to 9,000 RPM, it's fast. It's just exhilarating. It just gets your blood pumping. I gave a buddy a ride last week, and the first time I got on it, he was just like laughing like a little kid, and like text me the next day, and he's like, I'm still giggling, and it's not even the fastest car, but just the sound.
It's got all the sensations around it too.
The visceral experience. So really cool car. It's an honor to get to own one. I feel very lucky and fortunate. I don't know how long I'll keep it. I think at some point I'd like to get into a Turbo S, because that's kind of more my jam. But definitely plan on really getting to know this car for a year or two, and then we'll see what happens. So,
Cool.
Yeah. How are we doing on time? We've got like 5 more minutes.
No, we're done. It's 12:02.
Oh, did it started at noon?
Yeah, it's whenever we can go as long as we want. We can go for 4 hours.
Well, let's do one more, just because we started 8 minutes late.
Fair enough.
Anything?
I kind of checked out the list here. I was about to shut down. That one, that's just time.
If my car is not lowered, is there a point to getting your Dynamic Plus sway bar end links? Yes, the sway bar end links are going to be related to the stiffness of your sway bars. So, for example, if you have our sway bars, most factory end links are not going to be strong enough, and they will break or fail at some point due to the substantially higher, twisting force that's the bar has that gets directly translated to the end links. So it's the end links are related to the sway bar, not to the height of the suspension. And then our adjustable end links will allow you to take any preload out of the sway bar. Even factory sway bars can have preload in them. So there's a benefit there too. Okay, I think we're getting, super.
Yeah, lots of like updates and
lots of update questions. Yeah. Okay, well, sorry for the late start today. Thank you for joining us. We will see you guys next week, I think.
Yep.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.